5 golden rules to find the right woman in a lost world. Before you can find the right woman, you need to understand one crucial truth. You have to know yourself first. It might sound obvious, but in a world where people are constantly looking for someone to complete them, this foundational step is often overlooked. Without a solid understanding of who you are, your strengths, weaknesses, passions, and most importantly, your purpose, you're bound to search for the wrong things in a partner. Think about it this way. If you don't know where you're going in life, how can you expect to bring someone along for the ride? The search for the right woman starts with looking inward. The more grounded and self-assured you are, the more likely you'll attract someone who aligns with your values and enhances your journey. This is a hard truth that many men need to face. If you're constantly chasing relationships without having built a strong foundation for yourself, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. It's not about being perfect or having everything figured out, but it's about being on a path of growth and purpose. Women who are serious about life are naturally drawn to men with direction, men who know what they stand for. When you walk into a relationship without a clear sense of identity, you risk losing yourself in the process, becoming overly dependent, or making compromises that go against your core values. Before seeking a relationship, take the time to ask yourself some hard questions. What do I want out of life? What drives me? What principles am I not willing to compromise on? The answers to these questions will not only help you grow as a person, but will also give you clarity on the type of woman who will truly complement your life. A strong man is one who doesn't need validation from others because he's already confident in his own identity. There's also an element of self-respect in this process. A man who knows his worth won't settle for less. He won't be swayed by surface-level attraction or societal pressure to just find someone. He's willing to wait for a partner who truly adds value to his life. In contrast, a man without direction is likely to fall into the trap of superficial relationships that drain him emotionally, mentally, and even financially. One of the most empowering things you can do is build a life that you're proud of, without relying on anyone else to complete it. This doesn't mean living in isolation or rejecting the idea of love, but rather, it means being at peace with yourself first. When you live from a place of fulfillment, you'll attract the kind of woman who respects and values that. Remember, relationships aren't about two incomplete people coming together to form a whole. They're about two complete individuals choosing to walk life's path side by side. And if you're looking for the right woman, it starts by being the right man, someone who knows his own worth and purpose. We live in a world where appearances are often prioritized over substance. Social media, dating apps, and the media constantly bombard us with images of ideal beauty, shaping our perceptions of what makes someone attractive. But if you're serious about finding the right woman, you need to look deeper than just physical beauty. While looks might catch your attention, it's shared values that will hold a relationship together in the long run. It's easy to get distracted by superficial charm. A woman's looks may dazzle, and in the short term, it can feel exciting to be with someone who's admired for her appearance. But beauty fades. What doesn't fade are the values she carries, the principles she stands for, and how she treats people, including you. If you're not aligned on these deeper levels, any initial attraction will eventually fizzle out, leaving you in a relationship that lacks real substance. Here's the truth. A beautiful exterior without depth on the inside will only take you so far. You need to focus on the traits that last, the qualities that go beyond the surface. What does she believe in? How does she handle challenges? How does she treat others, especially those who can do nothing for her in return? These are the questions that reveal a woman's character, and they are far more important than any physical attribute. If you prioritize looks over values, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. When you're in a serious relationship, you need someone you can trust, someone whose beliefs and behaviors align with yours. A relationship built solely on attraction is like a house built on sand. It may stand for a while, but when life's inevitable storms come, it crumbles. In contrast, a relationship built on shared values is like a house built on rock. It stands strong, weathering every challenge life throws at it. You want a woman who brings something more to the table than just beauty, someone who understands the importance of loyalty, integrity, and respect, someone who values honesty and communication, who will stand by your side when things get tough. Because at the end of the day, the right woman is not just a partner for the good times, she's your ally, your confidant, and your support system when life gets difficult. Too many men fall into the trap of placing physical appearance above all else, only to realize later that they're missing the real connection that sustains a relationship. It's easy to be swayed by society's obsession with external beauty, but the men who truly win in life are those who seek out women with inner strength, character, and emotional intelligence. These are the women who elevate you, who push you to be better, and who inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Ask yourself, what kind of woman do you want by your side in 5, 10, or 20 years? Do you want someone who's only focused on her looks, or do you want someone who is building a life based on principles and character? Looks will change with time, but a strong set of values will only deepen, and they will become the cornerstone of a long-lasting, meaningful relationship. Choosing a woman based on values doesn't mean you need to ignore physical attraction. Attraction is important, but it shouldn't be the only thing driving your decision. The key is balance. Find someone who you are attracted to, but also someone who embodies the values that matter to you. This balance is what will lead to a relationship that not only excites you in the present, but also endures in the long run. The right woman is someone who challenges you to grow, someone who shares your vision for the future, and someone who stands by the same principles you hold dear. In a world that often feels lost and superficial, finding a woman with strong values is like discovering a rare gem. She will be the one who helps you navigate life's complexities with grace, strength, and wisdom. There's an old saying, actions speak louder than words. When it comes to relationships, this couldn't be more true. It's easy for anyone to say the right things, to make promises, to talk about loyalty, commitment, or love. But what really defines a person's character are their actions. If you're looking for the right woman in today's chaotic world, one of the most important things you can do is observe how she behaves, especially in challenging or uncomfortable situations. Talk is cheap. Many people are skilled at saying what others want to hear, but living up to those words is an entirely different matter. In the early stages of a relationship, words can be deceiving. A woman might tell you everything you want to hear, painting a picture of a perfect future together. She might talk about how important honesty and trust are, or how she values loyalty above all else. But the real question is, do her actions align with those words? Pay close attention to how she treats the people around her, her friends, family, even strangers. Does she show kindness and respect to those who can't offer her anything in return? Or does she change her behavior depending on who's watching? These are signs of her true character. It's easy to put on a good face when everything is going well, but how does she act when the pressure is on? Does she stand by her word, or does she crumble when things get tough? Another key thing to observe is how she handles conflict. Every relationship will face disagreements, but the way she approaches these situations will tell you a lot about her emotional maturity and integrity. Does she stay calm and work towards a solution, or does she resort to manipulation, blame, or emotional outbursts? A woman who is capable of dealing with conflict in a healthy, mature way is someone you can build a strong foundation with. If she's constantly avoiding responsibility or playing the victim, these are red flags you shouldn't ignore. A major pitfall many men fall into is ignoring these warning signs because they're caught up in the honeymoon phase of a relationship. But if you truly want to find the right woman, you need to take off the rose-colored glasses and look at reality. Everyone can make promises in the heat of the moment, but few people can consistently back up those promises with real action. The key is to give the relationship enough time for her true nature to show itself. Don't rush to conclusions based on words alone. Give her the opportunity to prove who she really is. Actions reveal intentions. A woman who says she wants a committed relationship but flirts with other men or keeps her options open is showing you through her actions that her words mean nothing. On the other hand, a woman who is serious about building a future with you will demonstrate that through consistency, loyalty, and effort. She won't just tell you she's committed, she'll show it by how she invests in the relationship and how she treats you. Also, observe how she handles responsibility. Is she someone who follows through on her commitments, or does she make excuses when things get tough? A woman who is reliable, who does what she says she'll do, is someone you can count on in the long run. Reliability isn't just about the big moments, It's also about the small, everyday actions that reveal her true character. If she's constantly making excuses for why she can't follow through on her promises, it's a sign that her words don't carry much weight. The bottom line is this: don't just listen to what she says, watch what she does. Words can be powerful, but actions are the real indicators of someone's character and intentions. When you prioritize actions over words, you protect yourself from being misled by empty promises and build a relationship based on trust and reality. In a world where many people are skilled at saying the right things, being able to discern between words and actions is a critical skill. The right woman for you won't just tell you what you want to hear. She'll show you day in and day out that she's someone worth building a future with. Don't settle for anything less. When it comes to building a strong, lasting relationship, few things are more important than aligning your life goals and future vision with your partner. Love alone isn't enough to sustain a relationship. While love might create the initial spark, it's shared goals and a mutual understanding of the future that keep the fire burning. If you're serious about finding the right woman, you need to look beyond the present moment and ask yourself, does she want the same things out of life that I do? In a world that feels more disconnected than ever, it's easy to get caught up in the idea of finding someone who simply makes you feel good in the moment. But true compatibility goes much deeper. It's about whether you and your partner are headed in the same direction. Are you both working towards similar milestones? Or are your dreams and ambitions leading you down entirely different paths? The truth is, no matter how much love or chemistry exists between two people, if your visions for the future aren't aligned, it will eventually create tension and conflict. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is assuming that things will work themselves out over time. They ignore red flags or avoid difficult conversations about the future because they're caught up in the excitement of the present. But hoping for things to magically fall into place is a recipe for disaster. If you and your partner aren't on the same page about your life's direction from the beginning, the relationship will likely struggle to survive in the long term. So, what does it mean to align your life goals? First, it's about having honest conversations about the things that matter most to both of you. Where do you see yourselves in 5, 10, or 20 years? Do you share similar views on marriage, family, and career? These are not just small details, they are the foundation of a relationship that can stand the test of time. If one person envisions a life filled with travel and freedom, while the other wants to settle down in a quiet town with a large family, you're going to face serious challenges down the road. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to life goals, but there is a right and wrong fit. If your goals are misaligned, it doesn't mean one person is better or worse. It simply means you aren't meant to walk the same path. The right woman for you will not only understand your dreams, but will share them, and you'll both be able to work together towards achieving those goals. She won't try to change your vision to fit hers, and you won't feel the need to compromise your values just to make the relationship work. It's also important to recognize that aligned goals aren't just about the big things like career and family. They also include everyday values and lifestyle choices. How do you both feel about finances, personal growth, or even how you spend your free time? These are the seemingly small aspects of life that can cause friction if you're not on the same page. A woman who shares your long-term vision will understand and support your choices in these areas, and you'll do the same for her. Another critical aspect of aligning goals is communication. You need to be able to talk openly about your ambitions, fears, and the future without holding back. The right woman won't shy away from these conversations. Instead, she'll engage in them with a sense of partnership, because she'll understand that building a life together means being proactive about your shared goals. If she avoids these discussions or brushes them off as unimportant, that's a sign that your priorities might not be in sync. And remember, a relationship isn't just about aligning goals on paper. It's about living those goals every day. If she says she wants the same things but her actions suggest otherwise, that's a red flag. Maybe she talks about wanting to build a future together, but her focus is always on the here and now. Maybe she says she supports your ambitions, but doesn't make any real effort to integrate her life with yours. Pay attention to these inconsistencies, because they can reveal whether she truly shares your vision for the future. Ultimately, A relationship built on aligned goals is one where both partners feel like they're working towards a common purpose. You're not just coexisting, you're building something together. This sense of shared purpose is what will help you navigate the inevitable challenges of life, and it will create a deep sense of trust and partnership. The right woman will not only be your partner in love, but also your partner in building a life that reflects both of your dreams. In a world that often feels uncertain and chaotic, having someone by your side who shares your goals and vision is incredibly grounding. When you're both committed to the same future, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. That's the power of alignment. And when you find the woman who shares your vision, you'll know that you're building something real, something that will last. In today's world, society often makes us feel like we're constantly racing against time, especially when it comes to relationships. You're bombarded with images of picture-perfect couples on social media. Your family might be asking when you'll settle down, and friends could be getting married left and right. The pressure to find someone and start a life together can feel overwhelming. But if you want to find the right woman, one of the golden rules is to be patient and resist the urge to give in to external pressures. Too many men make the mistake of rushing into relationships simply because they feel like they're falling behind, or because society has ingrained in them that they need to be in a relationship by a certain age. But here's the truth. A man who moves too quickly, driven by the fear of being alone or societal expectations, is more likely to end up in an unfulfilling relationship. He might settle for someone who doesn't share his values, doesn't support his vision, or worse, someone who actively holds him back from becoming the man he's meant to be. When you feel pressured by society to find someone, it's easy to lower your standards, to ignore red flags, or to compromise on the things that matter most to you. You might convince yourself that being with someone, anyone, is better than being alone. But deep down, you know this isn't true. Rushing into a relationship without ensuring compatibility is a recipe for heartache. It leads to resentment, frustration, and ultimately, wasted time. Time you could have spent growing into the best version of yourself and waiting for the woman who truly complements your life. Being patient isn't about passively waiting for the right woman to come along. It's about being active in your own growth and development while maintaining high standards. You need to focus on building your own life, your career, your health, your passions, your friendships, without feeling pressured to fit someone else's timeline. When you are patient and secure in yourself, you'll attract the kind of woman who respects your journey and is willing to walk alongside you. The world often tells men that they need to settle down by a certain age or that their worth is tied to their relationship status. But the reality is, it's far more valuable to remain single than to be in a relationship with the wrong person. The right relationship will add value to your life, not take away from it. It will inspire you to become better, not make you feel like you're compromising your dreams or identity. One of the key things to remember is that the right woman won't feel like a race to the finish line. You won't feel rushed, panicked, or like you're running out of time when you meet her. Instead, there will be a sense of alignment and ease. You'll feel comfortable in the pace at which things are progressing because you'll both be moving in the same direction. Patience allows you to avoid the trap of rushing into relationships that aren't right and gives you the clarity to see who is truly a good match for your future. There's also the issue of social pressure from friends or family. Maybe you've got friends who are constantly in and out of relationships, or maybe your family is subtly, or not so subtly, dropping hints about when you'll get married. It's important to remember that their timeline is not yours. Just because people around you are settling down doesn't mean you need to. Your journey is your own, and the right woman will come when you're ready, not when others think you should be ready. The pressure to conform to societal norms can be intense, but you have to remain strong. A weak man bends to the expectations of others, but a strong man follows his own path. He doesn't rush just because the world around him is telling him to move faster. He trusts that when the time is right, he will meet the woman who complements his life. And when that happens, it will be because he has been patient enough to wait for someone who truly aligns with him. Another important point to consider is that patience teaches you discernment. When you're not in a rush, you're more likely to notice the things that truly matter in a partner. You'll be able to identify who aligns with your values and who doesn't. You'll have the mental and emotional clarity to see past the superficial aspects of attraction and focus on the qualities that will sustain a relationship in the long run. In contrast, when you're rushed, your judgment becomes clouded. You might overlook critical differences in values, life goals, or emotional maturity. Rushing leads to settling, and settling leads to dissatisfaction. But when you practice patience, you allow yourself the time to choose wisely, to reflect on your needs and desires, and to make decisions that will benefit your future. Ultimately, patience is a form of strength. It's about trusting the process, trusting yourself, and trusting that the right woman will come into your life when the time is right. You don't need to follow anyone else's timeline. You don't need to prove anything to society. The only person you need to satisfy is yourself. And when you find the right woman, it won't be because you rushed into it. It will be because you had the patience and self-respect to wait for the best. When it comes to lasting relationships, one thing stands above all: mutual respect. Without respect, no relationship can truly flourish. A relationship that's built on a foundation of respect, where both partners recognize each other's value, worth, and independence, is one that has the potential to last a lifetime. But beyond respect, there's another crucial element that ensures a relationship doesn't just survive but thrives: growth. If you're serious about finding the right woman, it's essential to understand that a true partnership is one where both of you are constantly evolving, individually and together. Respect isn't just about politeness or being kind on the surface. It goes much deeper than that. It means that you both honor each other's boundaries, beliefs, and individuality. You're not trying to mold her into someone else, and she's not trying to change who you are. There's a mutual understanding that you both have your own unique paths, and that being together doesn't mean losing your personal identity. A relationship built on mutual respect acknowledges the strength of each partner's individual character while still fostering unity and collaboration. When you respect your partner, you create an environment where trust can flourish. And trust is essential for any relationship to grow. You should never feel like you need to second-guess her intentions, and she should never have to question yours. Trust and respect go hand in hand. One cannot exist without the other. The right woman for you will be someone who earns your trust through consistent actions, and you will do the same for her. A relationship without respect or trust is doomed to fail, because there's no solid ground for it to stand on. However, respect alone isn't enough. Growth is what turns a good relationship into a great one. The right woman will inspire you to become the best version of yourself. She'll challenge you when needed, but she'll also support you in your endeavors and encourage you to keep striving for your goals, and it's important that you do the same for her. True growth in a relationship happens when both partners are invested in each other's success. When you both see your relationship not as a final destination, but as a journey of mutual development. A relationship that lacks growth becomes stagnant. Over time, this can lead to resentment, boredom, and eventually a breakdown in the connection you once had. That's why it's so important to choose a partner who is just as committed to her own growth as you are to yours. You should both be constantly learning, evolving, and becoming better versions of yourselves. Whether it's personal development, career advancement, or simply becoming better at communicating with each other, growth should always be at the core of your relationship. One of the greatest signs that you've found the right woman is that you'll see evidence of this growth in how you both handle challenges. Life isn't always easy, and every relationship will face its share of obstacles. The key difference is how you approach these challenges together. Do you face them as a team, learning from the experience and coming out stronger on the other side? Or do you fall apart at the first sign of difficulty? A relationship built on mutual respect and growth will be resilient. You'll learn from your mistakes, adapt, and grow stronger because of them. And don't mistake growth for perfection. No relationship is perfect, and no person is without flaws. The right woman won't be perfect, and neither will you. But what matters is that you're both committed to continually improving yourselves and your relationship. It's about progress, not perfection. Growth in a relationship is about learning from your experiences, forgiving each other's mistakes, and moving forward with a renewed sense of purpose. It's also important to understand that a relationship based on growth doesn't mean you'll always agree on everything. In fact, healthy disagreement can be a sign of growth. If both partners are able to express their opinions and challenge each other in a respectful way, it means there's room for learning and understanding. The right woman won't be a yes man who agrees with everything you say just to avoid conflict. She'll have her own opinions, and she'll challenge you when necessary, not out of spite, but because she wants to see you grow. And you should do the same for her. Respect and growth also means supporting each other's ambitions. The right woman will not feel threatened by your success. She'll celebrate it with you. She won't try to hold you back or make you feel guilty for pursuing your goals. Instead, she'll be your biggest supporter, pushing you to achieve more, while you do the same for her. In a world that often encourages competition and jealousy, a relationship based on mutual respect and growth is one where both partners lift each other up, rather than tear each other down. At the end of the day, the right relationship is one where both partners feel empowered, where you're not only better together but better individually because of each other. A partnership like this is rare, especially in a world that often prioritizes short-term satisfaction over long-term fulfillment. But when you find a woman who respects you deeply and is committed to growing with you, you'll know that you found something special. The right woman will inspire you, challenge you, and support you in becoming the man you were always meant to be. And in turn, you'll do the same for her. This is the kind of relationship that stands the test of time, not because it's easy or perfect, but because it's built on a foundation of respect, trust, and a shared commitment to growth.